What's up, everybody? It's Eric from Free NFL Bets, and also you can find me at Twitter at Easy Money Wins, at Easy Money Wins on Twitter. So that's where I release all my official plays. I'm completely transparent with my record. I have a Google Doc with all my Excel spreadsheets, with all my plays, the unit size, and the amount of vig or juice that I take with each play. So fully transparent, guys. I'm on there. I'm up 19 units on the season. So a $100 better would be up $1,900. And I had a nice Thursday night. And I think I'm going to keep it this way, guys. Usually I've been doing just one show per week that covers Thursday night through Monday night. I think I'm going to go just a Thursday night show standalone, then a Sunday game standalone, all the games on Sunday, and then I'll do a Monday night football episode. So I think I'll do that moving forward. But let's not waste any time here. Let's just get right into the games. So I don't have to talk about last week's Bears mishaps. I had the Bears and the Jets on the freaking goal line against the Patriots. So yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We got good vibes going. The Jets cashed the 5-unit play for us yesterday. And so let's keep it going. Let's keep going. Week 9 NFL, baby. Let's get it. All right, first game, Sunday morning. Actually, sorry, not Sunday morning. Sunday, 1 o'clock. There's no Europe game this week. Next week, there will be a Europe game with the Panthers and the Giants. But this week, we have the Patriots at the Titans. That's the 1 o'clock game. Patriots at the Titans. This game is kind of weird because we don't know who the quarterbacks really are. Drake May, he might have a chance to play. He's trying to clear concussion protocol. And then Will Levis has been battling a shoulder thing, like a shoulder injury. So, and to me, the quarterback play for these two teams, like it doesn't matter like a whole lot, but I still think it matters. I mean, you could have any variation of Mason Rudolph versus either Drake May or Jacoby Brissett, or you could have Will Levis versus Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, and whatever. However you want to shake it, all those combinations. I think each individual combination does create a different kind of look for this game. So I guess just off the top of my head, like in terms of like the spread's minus 3.5. Does that actually like matter? I don't know. I honestly think the Titans are a mess. I thought the Titans were a better football team than what they've shown. And unfortunately, they're not. And then they're just, trading away people. And then, they have injuries to, really good players as well. So Tennessee might be without Tyler Boyd and Tony Pollard. And they're already out with, they are already without Algerius Sneed, their best cornerback. I think Sweat, the rookie defensive tackle, I think he's going to play. So I don't know, guys. I'm not touching this game. I do lean Patriots just because. Well, I take that back. If I get Will Levis versus Drake May, even Will Levis versus Jacoby Brissett, and I get the plus 3.5, I might play that. Because the Patriots have a lot of good momentum right now off of their win last week. And just in general, they're responding to their new head coach, and the Titans are not responding to Callahan. So I'm comfortable with the Patriots on the road and with 3 points against the Titans, who are just really just they're pretty much a train wreck, guys. They're pretty much a train wreck. But if Mason Rudolph does end up playing, I would lean Titans minus 3.5. I would lean them. But right now, give me the field goal. See what the over-under is. Over 38. Over under 38. That's hard because the Titans' defense has been giving up a lot of points recently. And then also Rudolph has been moving the ball and turning over the ball. So that would make me think that this would go over. I would lean over 38. When you have turnovers, that produces high, like just enough scoring. Like with these low totals, like if you have two turnovers And that's really all it takes. 2 turnovers in a game with that low of a total, you're probably going to get over 38. So that's the way I would lean, guys. All right, enough of that game. I don't want to talk about that game anymore. Chargers at the Browns. I think I'm going to bet the Browns, guys. I bet them last week, but I think I'm going to bet them again this week. I think, and now, so the Jameis Winston situation, he's hard to trust because he turns the ball over. He'll make really good throws and then really bad throws. And he turns the ball over a lot. But now he says, ever since 4 years ago when he got his LASIK eye surgery, he's a better quarterback. I don't know. He kind of makes the same throws, honestly, guys. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He's a risk taker. Now, what that means is I do love the over 42. Let me see what it's at right now. I think it's at 42. Sorry. Yeah, 42 and a half. I do like that over. The only thing is, when you bet overs at Cleveland, you have to track the wind. The wind forecast currently is 15 to 20 mile per hour winds sustained and 30 mile per hour gusts. So the way that the Browns Stadium is constructed, they have both ends, I believe, have a little crease in it where the wind can just whip off the lake into the stadium. And the stadium's east to west, so literally all the currents from west to east, the wind flows into the stadium very easily, and it's affected many a totals. I remember the Browns played the Raiders when John Gruden was the head coach 3-4 seasons ago, and the game was 6-3 or something like that, at halftime, and it was just, I think the final score was 13-7. It was a no doubter, and they were saying they couldn't even throw the ball. I think they ran the ball 40 times. Each team did. It was crazy. So the win factor is legitimate for the Browns. It's legitimate. That stadium, you have to track the wind. So I will not bet this over until it's game day, and I know exactly what the wind's going to look like for that day. That's the only way you bet totals, unless you just know the wind's going to be out of control by Sunday. Then just bet it early in the week. Just bet it under. Just bet it under, guys. But the biggest thing why I like the Browns this week is, one, they have the bye week next week. Usually teams that have a bye week on deck tend to play better. But then also their offense is pretty healthy. The offensive line is actually, I think, fully healthy for once, for the first time this year. And the other wide receivers, Cedric Tillman and Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy, and then Njoku, those are 4 good guys to throw the ball to. They've been proving that, and Jameis Winston has proven that he can move the football with them. So I really do like the Browns to be able to move the ball. I think they finally get a matchup against the Chargers. That now the Chargers do play good defense, so it's kind of hard to go against that. But these over-unders, if you look, the trends per year, every year, and I talked about this in one of the podcasts this year, that these over-unders and against the spread records in the NFL, there's just a couple of outliers every year. But for the most part, a majority of the teams are within 1 or 2 games of the over and under 500 record. So 17 games, so pretty much most of these teams are going to be 9-8 to the over or 8-9 to the under, with a little bit underneath and a little bit above. That's what it is. So right now, the Chargers are, let me see, they're to the under. I know that. They're 1-6. So that's a huge outlier. So even these teams, right now, the Chargers, who are 1-6, 1 over and 6 unders, and the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7 overs and 1 under, those are the 2 extreme outliers right now, right? And now at the end of the season, they're going to be above 53%, over under record. Baltimore is. And then the Chargers, they will most likely be 53% to the under at the end of the season. But right now, and if you look back at history, guys, you look back at the last, at teamrankings.com. That's what I look at this. Teamrankings.com, the over under. If you look at this stuff, these teams at the end of the year, they will have like the Chargers, they will get to 6 overs, 5 or 6 overs. They will get there. They will get there, guys. So from the time of now to the end of the season, I'm telling you, I promise you, it's just history has stood the test of time, right? Is that the expression? The Chargers will get to 5 overs at worst, and the Chargers will get. I mean, and the Ravens will get to at least 5 unders this year. Okay, they will. They will. So this is the time of the season where you can start looking at these trends, and history has just proven this. This is like something that is just fact. Like you look at last year. Let me look at last year, 2023. Cleveland was the best over team. They had 12 overs and 6 unders, so they got to 6 unders. And then the Carolina Panthers were the worst under team. They had 5, and the Chargers. Both those teams had 5 overs last year. So like we know this is week 9 of the NFL, right? So there's like 9 games left. So the Chargers will probably go 4 and 5, 4 overs to 5 unders the rest of the way, at worst, and then vice versa for Baltimore. They'll probably go 4 overs, 5 unders, or whatever way you want to slice it. Like that's how it's going to go, guys. Like if you look at TeamRankings.com and you just keep clicking down the thing every single year, like I'm looking at it, like every team gets at least 5 overs and 5 unders. At least those. Those are the outliers, okay? So we can bank on this. We can feel very confident that the books will adjust to these lines, and they just go over. So only way I can look at this right now is that the Chargers are 1 and 6 over under, and that the Browns are 3 overs and 5 unders. So even they need some overs. They need some overs, okay? And that means most likely they will get an over. So that's what I'm saying. This game lines up really well for an over, as long as this wind isn't crazy, because we're under the key number of 43. So 23-20, and also the defensive injuries. So the Browns are without Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, or I'm sorry, I think I butchered his last name, and potentially Denzel Ward, and I think the other linebackers out too. So I know the Chargers can move the ball against the Browns. I feel pretty confident about that. And same with the Browns against the Chargers. I know Jameis Winston is going to make some stuff happen, or he's just going to turn the ball over. So I feel pretty good about this over, guys. I do, and I lean the Browns winning this game. I kind of have to think about that a little bit more, but that's my thoughts on the Chargers and the Browns. Next game is the Saints at the Panthers. And this is, I don't know, guys. It's hard to bet on Bryce Young. It really is. I mean, it's just hard to bet on the Panthers in general, but I do lean the under in this game. I'll get to the under in just a second. Let's talk about the side. The side's tough because the Panthers' offensive weapons are like to throw the ball to are not good. I mean, they have Leggett. He's okay, but in my opinion, he's really not a first-round wide receiver like they drafted him. Like he's not that special. He's a solid wide receiver. He's good, but he's not amazing. And then the other guys, they have like Mingo and somebody else, guys. Somebody else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. It does not matter. So to really bank on the Panthers covering any point spread is just a proposition I don't want to take on. I just don't. And honestly, the Panthers have some room to cover the spread because the Saints secondary is banged up. I believe Lattimore's out, and then Kool-Aid McKendry's out, and then they already lost Adebo for the year. So like their only good cornerback is Alontae Taylor. That's it. So the Panthers, in theory, should be able to pass the ball, but they don't have great wide receivers, and Bryce Young is the quarterback, and the front seven for the Saints is healthy, and they're talented. They haven't been performing well this year, but the Saints front seven defensively is talented. Their linebacking trio is, like, in my opinion, one of the best in the NFL. So it's hard. It's hard to trust the Panthers, guys. Gosh. But then also Derek Carr's back. Who knows how like efficient he's going to be? And like honestly, Derek Carr's not that good either, guys. He's just not. Like let's be real with each other. Let's be real, okay? All the Derek Carr like fanboys, listen. Derek Carr's not that good. Okay? I thought he was good. I bet a lot of money on the Saints' future last season. And then I watched him a lot, and I was like, this guy's just not good. And then I looked at his statistics throughout his career, and they're just like mediocre. And yes, what you love about Derek Carr is he's a gamer, he's a fighter, he's very competitive. In the fourth quarter, I feel somewhat good with him, leading the offense down the field. Like, I know he's going to give it his all. That feels good. Like, from a competitor standpoint, I like that in my quarterback. But him just executing in the red zone is a disaster, and him just as an overall NFL quarterback, like, it's not consistently good enough. So trusting him in his first game back, I can only look Panthers +7. I'm not betting it, though. Now, the over-under is 43.5. Excuse me, guys. I am definitely looking under here. Now, why would I be looking under here? Now, partially because obviously the front seven for New Orleans I do like, and I think they can cause some havoc. And I mean, let's just be honest. Carolina's offense isn't very, good anyways. So I'm definitely looking under 43.5 in this game. I don't trust I don't trust Carolina to score the ball and move the ball. I believe they have their left tackle is still hurt too for Carolina. Pulling it up right now as I'm talking to you guys. And then for the Saints, I mean, obviously, I don't trust Derek Carr to move the ball like his first game back and just be like really, really, prolific and all that stuff. I don't see it. Yeah, the left tackle for Carolina's out. And then, I mean, David Moore and Jalen Coker are the two wide receivers next to Xavier Leggett. So, I mean, I love Chuba Hubbard, but the reason why I like this under 2 guys is that Carolina's defense is actually sneaky put together again. Actually, I mean that. I really do. Josie Jewell's back. Jadeveon Clowney's back. These are guys like, they're not amazing right now in this, stage of their careers, but it's still like with an over-under of 43.5 with, they already have a bad offense. You just need NFL vets in the right place, not giving up long touchdowns. That's all you need right now. Like for this under 43.5 to cash, and I really think this is going to cash. I will be betting the under 43.5 in this game, is because, like I just said, you just need some continuity of some okay NFL guys. That and the defensive coordinator in Nero I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm butchering all these guys' names. Nero, he's a prideful guy, right? And like he was here last year. So like a lot of these guys have been here in this game. They played it like they are going to give a very good. Oh, and Dane Jackson's back off of IR. So like Xavier Woods at safety, you got J.C. Horn and Dane Jackson at cornerback. I'm telling you guys, that's not a disaster like what it's looked like for Carolina. It's not a disaster, okay? And in my opinion, it's not. And then the big boys are healthy. Ashawn Robinson and Shai Tuttle are healthy. So I'm telling you right now, that under's going to hit. That under 43.5 is going to hit. I am going to be betting that. Okay, next game is the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The spread is +6. It's been going down the entire week. And the over-under is at 49.5. And let's see what my notes are on this game, guys. I am going to be staying off of the side in this game. I can understand the Dolphins' money coming in at +6. I think it could be a close game. But Tua on the road. So, like, if this game was at home, yeah, I would definitely lean Dolphins, like, +3 or whatever the spread would be. I would lean that. But Dolphins on the road, Tua on the road against good teams, he just has not delivered. So, again, I say this all the time, guys. This is like, if I had, like, a betting Bible, this would be one of my 10 commandments. It's like, don't guess. And I know, and I say this a lot on all my podcasts, but to an extent, betting is an educated guess on a lot of different factors, trends, statistics, watching the game, other influences. it is kind of an educated guess, right? But trying to guess on something that you just have not seen yet, like we haven't seen Tua consistently win on the road or cover point spreads on the road against good teams his entire career. We just have not seen it. So why am I going to guess that this is the time where he's going to do it? I'm just not interested in that. I don't want to guess on that, on something that has not happened yet. I need to see it to believe it first, okay? I need to see that actually happen. And he's had like over 10 games of experience doing this, and he is not, like, he's only done it like very rarely, okay? So staying off the side in this one. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. But both these teams are actually fairly healthy on both sides of the ball. So, I mean, I can understand. If you think the Dolphins are going to be close, and trust me, I do think the Bills are overrated. I don't think they're that good of a team. I think that they're a very well-coached team. They're in the right spot, but I think they can definitely be beat. I think that the offense is not flawless yet, even though they're very successful running the ball. And their defense, like, they don't have a standout player. They have a lot of good guys that are in the right spot, in the right time, very disciplined, very sound, good tackling football team. And that's why they win a lot of games. They're a very good football team. Sound, disciplined, penalty-free football team. That's the Bills. And Josh Allen isn't turning the ball over. So what's happening? They're winning games. But can they be beat? Definitely, guys. This team is not as talented as like years past Bills teams. Definitely not. They just have a really amazing offensive line and a very sound, disciplined defense. That's the Buffalo Bills. So do the Dolphins have the personnel to compete in this game? Absolutely. But again, I'm not guessing that. Over under is 49.5. Let's see. I wrote down trends. I think both of these teams need, let's see what it is, an under. Well, not need, but like most likely they're going to go under. Oh, Buffalo's 4-4 over under, and Miami Dolphins are 2-5, 2 overs and 5 unders. So I mean, they could get an over here. I would not be surprised if an over hit for them. Would not be surprised if an under hit for them. 49.5. You know, that's a pretty high number for the Bills that definitely just want to run the ball and have a sound defense. And then the Dolphins have a scrappy defense too. You know what? Actually, I lean under in this game, guys. I do. I don't see the Dolphins having some. I mean, Tua looked pretty good last week. I mean, the offense moved the ball a lot, so I can understand that. But that just seems a little high for a Bills team that, you know, they're still, you know, their offense has done really well against, you know, 2 bad teams the last 2 weeks. But I'm going to think on that over-under, guys. I kind of like that under. I kind of like under 49.5. That's just a touch too high. I mean, again, Tua doesn't play well on the road. So, like, are you really thinking the Dolphins are going to get to, like, 23 points, which they will need in order for this over to hit? And will the Bills get to 27 points? I don't know. I mean, they easily could, but then they easily could keep it close too and like falter in the red zone. So I don't know. I'm looking under 49.5 there. That's my lean. I'll think more into that. Next game, guys. This one is the Cowboys and the Falcons. So it's +3. Couple +3.5s with juice if you like the Cowgirls. The Dirty Birds, there's a -3 with juice, -115, -120. And this is another betting strategy that I like to talk about, and this applies to, you know, pretty much all the sports. It is, you know, motivation versus the players that are playing on the field. So like motivation versus roster. So obviously, look on paper, the Falcons have the better roster right now as it is. Their defense is healthy. They have way better defense than Dallas. On paper, their offense is actually, in my opinion, equal or if not better than Dallas's offense. I mean, definitely have a better running game. Can't deny that. You can debate the wide receivers, but not by much. And so the quarterback, I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing better than Dak is this season. So, you know, personnel, definitely the Falcons. But motivation-wise, The Cowboys have way more motivation. They're 3-4. The Falcons are 5-3, and they're 4-0 in the division. You know, like the Falcons have a stronghold on that division. A stronghold, guys. Pretty much. Like they have all the tiebreakers. Pretty much. They have the best record. Like they're in a really, really good situation in the NFC South. You know, this is like, hey, they can afford to lose this game. And then they look bad against the Seahawks 2 weeks ago, and the Seahawks again it was basically the same situation as it is now. Motivation versus roster. Now the Falcons had more injuries against that Seahawks game as they do now, but I like the Falcons, guys. With all that being said, I mean, man, I want to bet the Cowboys, but I can't get there with them, guys. I mean, Dak's saying all the right things, but I don't know. I mean, I really do like the Falcons to win this game. They're at home. They already have 3 home losses this season, I believe. And so, like, that's the other thing. It's very rare do teams that are, like, at least mediocre or even a little bit below average to not get to 500 wins at home. Like, to not get to 4 wins at home. So, the Falcons will get, most likely, 4 wins at home this year. And right now, they only have 2. They're 2-3 at home this year. So they have Dallas, the Chargers, the Giants, and the Panthers. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, they have a pretty good chance of winning this game. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. I mean, Dallas's roster is it's just not good. Trayvon Diggs didn't practice all week. They are already without Deron Bland. So, like, that secondary is very susceptible to giving up passing plays this week. And even if Trayvon Diggs plays, he didn't practice all week. So, I mean, how effective is he really going to be, right? I mean, how healthy is he really going to look out there? I don't see that. And they still don't have Micah Parsons. They don't have the pass rush. So Kirk Cousins with time to throw the ball. I love it. Sign me up. And then they're going to be able to run the ball too because they have a very good running game. So, yeah, I really hear Dak. I like what he's saying, but I think the Cowboys are about to be in free fall until they get their horses back in Deron Bland, healthy Trayvon Diggs, and then Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, until those 4 guys get back, they are in a world of hurt, in my opinion. So I can only look Falcons there. Over-under is at 52. Very high over-under, and it's because the Cowboys' defense sucks, and also because the Cowboys are going to be playing really, really hard. But I kind of lean under in this game. I kind of do because so the Falcons' defense is very healthy, and their secondary is legit. So the Cowboys can't run the ball. The Falcons do give up some running plays. They do. The Falcons do give up rushes. So maybe the Cowboys are able to run the ball. But even if they're able to run the ball, like, that just milks the clock more. And same with the Falcons. They can run the ball too. So let me see what let me see what the over-under is for these two teams. Because, man, Dallas is 5-2 to the over. And the Falcons are 4-4. And over-under. I think this goes under, guys. I think this is like one of the spreads where it's like it goes under because I could see the Cowboys having just a bad day in general. So, yeah. And then also, if they're able to win or cover, I think it's more because the Falcons are just kind of self-destructing in the red zone. And that could easily happen. I mean, this is a high total, guys, a high total. And that if the Falcons are winning this game, they're going to be running the ball, and they're going to try to control the game. So, I do lean under. I might get under 52. I might bet under 52. I really will. I really might. Okay, let's go to the next game, guys. Next game. We have the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. Spread is at +9.5, and the total is at 46.5. Now, the Broncos have not lost by 10 points or more this entire season, and they've played well on the road. They beat the Broncos, and they beat the Buccaneers. So, like, when is this awful performance, like, meltdown from the Broncos and Bo Nix going to happen? Is it going to be this week? I don't know. It's tough. I'm staying away from the spread because I've got in trouble in the years by taking like these big dogs that have been playing well and then they just lose and they don't cover. Kind of like the Commanders almost did a couple weeks ago at Baltimore. The spread was -7 and it landed on 7, but Baltimore was really controlling that game by like double digits the entire time. Really should have covered. They really should have, but they did not. It pushed. So I I kind of lean Baltimore to cover by 9.5. I do. I kind of lean them to win by 10. I think this is finally the game where Bo Nix and Denver kind of just meltdown. I think they do, and I also lean to the under. I mean, like I said, the Ravens are 7 overs and 1 under on the season. That's not going to continue, guys. They will get 5 unders. Like, and if they don't get 5 unders this year, like if they don't get 4 more unders the rest of the season, that's just like a super outlier. And those teams only happen like once every like 5 years. So could it happen? It could, but I only see this game going under. And it kind of goes back to I don't trust the Broncos on the road to score against a pretty healthy, pissed off Baltimore Ravens defense. I mean, let's look. They scored 33 on Thursday night, but that was a wacky, and they got a defensive touchdown too against New Orleans, and New Orleans was injured. And those Thursday night games are kind of outliers, and I won that over that week, so I do remember that very well. But they played the Jets, who was a very good defense, and it was raining too that day too. But still, they only scored 10 points. I know there's some missed field goals in that. They played Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay, but look, Tampa Bay's defense week 3 was very banged up. And just in general, Tampa Bay's defense hasn't been playing well this year. So they scored 26 points. So, and then at Seattle, they got to 20, but they got to 20 late. So I'm just not buying them on the road at Baltimore putting up 20 points. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I don't. I don't think they get there. They're very healthy on offense, and I respect Sean Payton, and I think Bo Nix has played really well, and I know Baltimore Ravens defense has not played great, but Bo Nix has gotten away with a lot. And I think that comes to an end this week. I really do. I think that comes to an end this week. And I think the Ravens, like, they should have had comfortable wins this year. Against Las Vegas, they're up 10 points in the fourth quarter at home. They should have milked the game away. That would have went under, and they would have covered the spread. And then they just had that happen last week, basically with Cleveland too. Like, they were battling, and then with the Commanders, they had that too, where they were up and they just milk it out, and the Commanders came back and scored a late touchdown. So I think they run the ball, milk the clock, get out, and get a win. Now the Ravens do have the Bengals at home on Thursday night, so that's a short week. So that's kind of a weird spot, but I do lean under here for sure. I do lean under the 46.5. I don't know which way it's been going. Let me see. Let me see which where the money's taking it. Let me see. Let's take a look at the money, the line movement. So it's kind of just stayed at 46.5 all week. Wow, it stayed at 40. Oh no. It was 44.5 and went to 45.5. Oh, so over money's come in. I disagree with that, guys. If it gets to 47, that's a clear play for me. It's a clear play. Definitely a 3-unit play. Clear play to the under. Just because the Ravens are due some regression for their overs. They're going to hit some unders here. And 47 is a key number. And like I said, I don't like Bo Nix to play very well on the road here. I think he finally cools off. And the Ravens, I like them to run the ball and control the game. So, yeah, that's my thought on that game. Let's go to the next game, which is the last 1 o'clock game of the week. Actually, there's 2 more 1 o'clock games this week. Woo, guys! Just a side note, while I'm kind of like halfway through the show, I appreciate you, all of you that listen, and there's actually quite a few you guys actually listen all the way through, like an hour long, and I'm glad that I'm able to help you guys, and you're able to like listen to my thoughts and hear my analysis and how I'm looking at the games, because I feel like everyone says the same stuff all the time, but like I know these players really, really well, guys. I study them like from the time they're drafted, in college. And I know the coordinators, I know the head coaches, I know the schemes, I know the backups. Like, I know these teams so well. So I'm really hoping that I am helping you guys. Like, even if you're not betting my plays, I hope that I'm able to lean you in a direction with like making a better, more informed decision based on the information I'm sharing. So with all that said, like, subscribe, comment, share my video, share my podcast. That's all I ask. I'm doing this for free. So, and I'm up on the season plus 19 units. So if you've been tailing on my plays, you're winning money with me. So let's keep it going. All right, next game. The Raiders at the Bengals. Like we just said, the Bengals are at Baltimore on Thursday night next week. So kind of a weird spot for the Bengals. Now, the Raiders have the bye week next week. And like I said, teams that have the bye week on deck, they tend to play better and they cover the spread more. So we'll see. But the Bengals are due for a win here, and I do think they get it. It's just really annoying that T. Higgins is like, he's just always hurt. And like, honestly, if I were the Bengals, I would keep franchise tagging him too. Because throughout his entire career, he's just always hurt. He's never healthy like for the whole season. It's really annoying. Like if I was a Bengals fan, I'd just be like, yeah, just keep franchise tagging him. I don't. He's not reliable. He's just not. So, and honestly, they should let him walk or just franchise. Yeah, he's annoying. He's annoying, guys. I'm not, and I'm a Steelers fan. I really don't even care about them. But just like betting wise, like it's annoying because like I want him to play. They're a better offense with him on the field. But still, such is some of these NFL players. But anyways, this line is a little too high. I do lean the Raiders here. Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Madison's running the ball well for the Raiders right now. The offensive line is a little banged up. It is. But I think there's some pieces there enough. Bengals defense, they're actually, I think, fully healthy. I don't think there's any injuries on that Bengals defense this week. And they're just a average defense. They're not special. Now, they could have a special performance this week against Gardner Minshew. That could happen. But I like the Raiders to kind of stay within striking distance. I think +7's too much. I think the Raiders are kind of live here. Their defense is healthy, I believe, too. And I really like Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders. And the Bengals have not been able to pull away from teams. Let's take a look at Cincinnati's schedule. I don't think they have a big win all year, like by margin. Let's see. They got Carolina. You can't count Carolina. Oh, and then at the Giants. But the Giants was a 3-point game late. They just got that touchdown. They didn't even need that touchdown. And then Cleveland, they won 21-14. And that game was close, and that was with Deshaun Watson. So, like, they should have won by more. So, like, see, that's what I'm saying, guys. I think the Bengals are just in a bad spot, and their team's just not that good to be laying 7. And I think the Raiders, with their their whole team's pretty healthy, and they have good coordinators. So as long as Gardner Minshew doesn't turn over the ball at like more than once, I think they should be able to stay within 7 points. Now the over/under is 45.5. I'm definitely looking under in this game. Vegas is 5-3 over/under, so 5 overs and 3 unders, and then Cincinnati is the same, 5 overs and 3 unders. I think this game does stay under. And like again, I don't just bet. Like I said, I'm not just betting blind, guys. Okay, it has to make sense. Like the line has to make sense. The team roster has to make sense. All these things have to make sense. But I just know it is a puzzle, right? Like, so last year, there were only, so like generally there's only 4 teams above like that 10-7. So like, I mean, it could go over, it could, but I mean, odds are that there's a little bit more unders every year than overs, just a little bit. So like both these teams going to 6-3, I don't really see it. And also, I don't trust either of these offenses to just light it up. And I mean, in today's NFL, to get to like 47 points, kind of have to light it up a little bit, or at least it feels like it. So I lean under 45.5. I am seriously considering betting that under 45.5. So we'll see. We'll see if I get there or not. All right, next game, last 1 o'clock game of the week. It's the Washington Commanders off their miracle Hail Mary victory at the New York Giants, who are off a good effort against the Steelers. That was a good effort. It really was. And the spread is +4 here. And I'm telling you guys, everything in my being knows, not thinks, knows that the Giants are going to cover this +4. They might win outright, guys. They may very well win outright this game. So the Giants are actually really healthy, and I called this right. Their offensive line is not with all their offensive tackle issues. Their offensive line is actually not a disaster. They can run the ball and they can pass protect a fair amount of the time. But against the Commanders, who don't have like amazing defensive ends, they should be able to give Daniel Jones some time, and you can run the ball on the Commanders. So I think this offense is capable of moving the ball, and they have super talented playmakers. Wan'Dale Robinson is super quick. Malik Neighbors is fast and quick. Tyrone Tracy is fast and quick. Devin Singletary's quick with a little bit of speed. Darius Slayton is fast. And Theo Johnson's a tall, big boy at tight end. So, they have the weapons to score points here. They do. They have the weapons to score points here. And the defense, oh man, the defense is underperforming this season. They really are. I mean, you have Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke, Aziz Ojulari. These are all very talented guys in the front seven. They're just not stopping the run very well. And I know the Commanders are going to run the ball a lot. So, but the cornerbacks, Cordale Flott is healthy. Adoree Jackson's healthy. In my opinion, that's better than Deonte Banks and Nick McLeod. And it looks like they benched Deonte Banks last week, too. So, they're not afraid to do it. So, they'll put the best guys out on the field. Jason Pinnock, he's a pretty good safety. Now, Nubin, the other safety, he's not very good. But, I think there's enough there. They could easily give up points. Don't get me wrong, guys. They could easily give me points. But what I'm saying is also, I think the Giants can keep it close. I definitely think that their offense can keep it close. And the offense, ever since Neighbors has come back, they've slowly shown a little bit. Well, sorry, Neighbors came back against Philadelphia and they didn't do jack shit. But, okay, so I take that back. Last week was a good showing for them, though, against the Steelers. It really was. It was a good showing. And before Neighbors got hurt, it was a good showing, too. Okay? They were progressing every week. They scored 18 against Washington the first meeting, and those were 6 field goals. So, they were moving the ball against Washington. So, I definitely, they know that they're not afraid of Washington. They already lost to them. They know they can move the ball on them. It's the same offense minus Andrew Thomas. So, the Giants, I'm telling you guys, it's not I think, I know the Giants are covering. The Giants will be at least a 3-unit play for me. That +4 is not warranted. It's not warranted. It should be -3 flat, in my opinion. It should be -3 flat. So you're giving me 4 points with the Giants at home, and they already lost to the Commanders, and everybody's healthy pretty much that's been playing. Sign me up, boys and girls. We're going with the G-Men +4. G-Men +4. That will be an official play. Now the over/under is 44.5. I lean over. First meeting did go under this total, but barely. But like I said, the Giants' offense is due for some good games. That, and the Giants are also due for some overs. The Giants are 2 and... Sorry, let me go to this year. They are 2 and 6 to the under, so 2 overs and 6 unders. And then the Commanders are 5 overs and 3 unders. So, but the Commanders are an over team in my opinion. They really are, and I think that trend continues now that Jaden Daniels got another week for his rib to get healthy, and they had a little bit rusty start with him last week. I think we get back to some points this week with the Commanders. All right, guys, 1 o'clock games are over. We got a couple 4 o'clock games, and then we have the Sunday night game. So let's do those, and then we'll get it out. We'll get out of here, and I'll do the Monday Night Football game on Monday. I'll release another podcast on the Monday Night Football game on Monday. So, all right. First 4 o'clock game on my schedule is the Bears and the Cardinals. Bears at the Cardinals. I have already released this play. It's a 3-unit play, I believe. I can't remember. It might be a 4-unit play. Go check my Twitter out at Easy Money Wins. Go check out the Excel link in my bio. It'll tell you what unit play and all that stuff. But yeah, I already bet the Cardinals on the money line. I feel very good about this, and it kind of goes back to like things are pointing towards them. And like they have good momentum, and the Bears do not have good momentum. And like the Bears, give them credit. They fought hard and they battled back, and they should have won that game last week. But the way that they lost, and the way that Eberflus looks like he's not in control of his team, and just really the Bears looked bad the entire game. Honestly, too. Like they didn't look good at all either. And you could say, yeah, they're a little rusty coming off the bye week. You could say like a lot of things, right? They're on the road, whatever excuse you want to make, But bottom line is they did not look very good, and I think that's going to continue to happen. I think there's going to be a little bit of a Hail Mary hangover from last week, and they're just not going to be as sharp. That and the Cardinals are due for some home wins, guys. They are. Let's see. I think they lost. I think they're. No, they won that. No, they're 2-2. They're 2-2 at home, so I mean, whatever. But I do think next week they're going to lose to the Jets. I do think that. But they've won 2 in a row. They're gelling. They're making winning football plays. The ball's going their way right now. So I like that to continue. The Bears. It's just a momentum kind of play for me, guys. Like the Bears, in my opinion, they do have the better defense. But I just think Eberflus is losing control of that locker room a little bit. I really do. I don't like that, and I don't trust the Bears on the road. That's the other thing. I don't trust the Bears on the road. Let's look at their road. Yeah, they lost at Houston, at Indy. They looked awful in both of those games offensively. Yeah, they haven't won a road game this year. Oh well, the London game. Sorry, they looked really good at London, but it's not really. It is a lot of travel, but crowd, away crowd, it not really. So again, they really haven't won a true road game this season, an opponent's venue. I think that continues. I don't think they beat Arizona. I like Arizona. Give me Arizona. All right, total is 44.5. Like I said, Chicago's 3-4 over under. And the Cardinals are 4-3 to the over. So nothing like super telling there in my opinion. I'm probably going to stay off of that over. I do lean over 44.5. I do lean over. I think the Bears fight harder on offense this week. They have a better matchup against the Cardinals defense, and then the Bears defense has their handful with Kyler Murray. That guy is the most elusive quarterback in the NFL, even more than Lamar Jackson. Like. Kyler's the hardest guy to get down on the ground from a sack, standpoint. Like he's just so small and just so quick and so fast. Like it's impossible to get to him. All right, next game, Jaguars at the Eagles. Ooh, guys, I like this game a lot. I'm probably gonna be on the Jaguars plus 7.5. Brian Thomas and Travis Etienne, they practiced all week in limited fashion. They're called game time decisions. I think that's just a little bit of gamesmanship by Doug Peterson, like not, kind of like saying, hey, there's a chance they may be out. But like really, I think they're both going to play. And same with Gabe Davis, I think they're going to play. So the Jaguars have enough on offense to move the ball. And Tank Bigsby looks like he's going to play too. And the offensive line is, they traded Cam Robinson, but, they have Walker Little. He's fine, in my opinion. And so like that offensive line is okay. It's okay. And then also, the Eagles' defense are going to be without Darius Slay. And, they have 2 young rookie cornerbacks there. So, now, don't get me wrong. They've been playing really well. And they got Reed Shiesty back there. I saw someone on Twitter call Reed Blankenship Reed Shiesty. And I was like laughing my ass off. But anyways, they have some... I'm telling you guys, they're going to be able to move the ball against the Eagles. And the Bengals were moving the ball against the Eagles pretty well last week too. They just like melted down with all the turnovers that they had. So let's look at the Eagles. And like this is the thing, +7.5. It's not just +7. You're getting the hook. So like they're saying that this is just gonna be a blowout by Philly. And I'm telling you right now, this is not gonna be a blowout by Philly. Okay, this is not gonna be a blowout. Even though the Eagles are playing really well at home, like this is gonna be another play for me for sure to have the Jaguars +7.5. Feel very, very confident about this play, guys. I really do. I feel very confident about this play. Eagles may win, but I don't think by margin, guys. I really don't. So this is, let's take a look at the Eagles schedule, like their wins. So at home, they beat the Browns by 4, barely. They had a really bad offensive showing. And then they lost to the Falcons at home. And then those were really their only 2 true home games. And, you know, they smoked the Giants and they pulled away late from the Bengals. But, like, we know that Bengals game was a lot closer. And the Bengals were winning a majority of that game, too. So that's the thing. Like, and the other thing that I like about this is that the Jaguars defense is finally fully healthy again. Like, finally fully healthy. And I mean, like, granted, them fully healthy doesn't mean that they're good, but it means that they should be able to make plays enough to keep this game from getting out of hand. Like, they're not a disaster defense, guys. They got the Foyesade Oluokun back, their best middle linebacker. Tyson Campbell's back. Darnell Savage is back. Everyone's there. That front four is healthy. Armstead, Trayvon Walker, Devon Hamilton, Josh Hines, Allen. Like, and they're going to need a good performance against that Eagles offense line. And I think they do. I think they do, guys. I'm telling you right now, that Jaguars +7.5, that's going to cash, guys. That will for sure be a play for me. For sure. All right. Well, sorry, not for sure. I mean, you can get ahead and guess if Brian Thomas is going to play or not. You really need Brian Thomas to play. Out of anybody, you need Brian Thomas to play. Because Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, like, those two guys, you know, if one of them sits out, it's not the end of the world. But, man, if Brian Thomas doesn't play, I don't know, guys. They got this guy, Tim Jones. I never heard of him. And Parker Washington, a wide receiver. I mean, yeah, they have Evan Ingram, but I need Brian Thomas to play. And I think he does. I think it's just smoke and mirrors, honestly. I really do. I really, really do. So, yeah, that's my thought on that game. Over-under on that game is 45.5. Philly needs some overs. Well, they kind of just got some. There are 3 overs, 4 unders. And then the Jaguars are, I think they're an over team. Yeah, they're 5 overs, 3 unders. So, yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. I lean over because I do think the Jaguars are going to be able to move the ball. And the Jaguars' defense hasn't been great either. Actually, kind of lean under. That's a tough over-under. I'm going to be staying off of that. I can see both happening. Okay. Next 4 o'clock game is the Rams at the Seahawks. I'm on the Rams, guys. I'm not on them yet officially, but I will be. I think the Geno Smith experiment is finally going to come to a halt. I think Drew Lock. Wait, sorry, is Drew Lock even there or is he on the Giants? I think Drew Lock's on the Giants now. I don't even know who the Seahawks backup quarterback is. Let me see. Sorry, now I'm curious. Sorry, my internet's... Oh, Sam Howell. That's right, Sam Howell. Shoot, they might give the hand over the keys to Sam Howell. They might do that. They might, guys. But yeah, DK Metcalf's out. I mean, yeah, I love Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett. And Jake Bobo's nice. I like Jake Bobo too. Don't sleep on Bobo, guys. Don't sleep on Bobo. Kenneth Walker's healthy. Charbonnet's healthy. Offensive line's in an okay spot too. I mean, the right tackle, Michael Jarrell, he's not, he's a backup. He's not the best guy out there, but that's that offense should be okay. Noah Fant's out, but Noah Fant, I mean, who cares about Noah Fant? Defense. So I do lean under in this game defensively. The front 7 for the Seahawks defenses. They're on paper they're good. They're just not performing well. So they're just not. I don't know what it is. I'm tired of seeing these good NFL players and just not performing. you got Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, Leonard Williams, Jerron Reed, Jonathan Hankins. Like, that D line's good. It should be much better than what it's doing. And then you have Terrell Dodson and Ernest Jones, the fourth. Like, those are very two solid NFL linebackers. So I have no idea, guys. I don't know why the Seahawks aren't not a better defense than what they've been showing. Rick Woolen, Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, Trey Brown, Devin Witherspoon. You know, that's a respectable back end, a respectable secondary. They're just not playing well. I don't know what it is, guys. They're just not playing well. They played well at Atlanta. That's why I backed them on the under last week against the Bills. And I think I can only look under this week too. And they do have the bye week on deck too. So they had the bye week on deck, the Seahawks do. So I know they're going to give a valiant effort here. They really are. They're going to give a huge effort right now. They're 500. They're 4-4, divisional game, and they're 0-1 in the division. So I still lean the Rams, guys, because it looks like Puka Nacua is going to play. Cooper Kupp's playing. I mean, their offensive line is just really performing well. The Rams is. And Kyron Williams is a good running back. Corum's getting some work in too. So I like the Rams, guys. I like the Rams in this spot. On the road, battling, in a good groove, getting big wins. The defensive backfield is a little bit concerning for the Rams. It's not like the best. I mean, they have Kobe Durant and Quinnen Lake. But Tre'Davious White, he's not playing much right now. He's been a disappointment off of his knee injuries. Darius Williams back. He's a veteran. He used to be on the Rams with that Super Bowl team, I believe. And so, I don't know, guys. There's that's the only thing. There's that back end for the Rams concerns me a little bit. That front seven for the Rams is actually kind of sneaky good. Kobe Turner, Fiske, Byron Young, Jared Verse, Michael Hoek, I believe is how you say his last name. Christian Roseboom. I like that front. I like that front seven. So I lean the Rams, and I lean under. I forget what the under is, but I definitely lean it. Oh, yeah, 48. Shoot, 48.5 is out there. Yeah, I definitely lean under that guys. That might be a play for me. The Rams are 4-3 to the over, and the Seahawks are 5-3 to the over. So, the likelihood of both these teams continuing to go up with the over trends, I don't see it, especially because I think these two defenses are respectable. So I lean under. I think divisional game under 48.5. I think that hits. I think that's going to be a play for me as well, guys. I think it is. All right. Last 4:00 game is a really good game. It's the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have the bye week on week 10, so we know that they're going to give a huge effort at home. The only issue is Jordan Love has the groin thing going on, and who knows how, and Jordan Love, his game is kind of predicated around moving around a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely could just sit in the pocket and be a true pocket passer and just be really good doing that, but he does create, and he's good at creating, he's good at throwing on the run. So, him not being able to do that, I don't like that for this game, because they're going to have to move the ball against the Lions. They're going to have to keep up, because the Packers defense, I do like them, but Jair Alexander, he hasn't practiced all week. And then just that front seven for the Packers, they may be doing okay this year, but, the Lions are a different beast. So let's see Jordan Love. He limited practice Thursday and Friday, did not practice Wednesday. I don't know, guys. The groin injuries are kind of weird. They can kind of feel great or not amazing. So I don't know. I can only lean the Lions this week. It's -2.5 now, guys. Ever since the Jordan Love said that he expects to play this week, I think it came out today. He's probably gonna play. I'm sorry, he's gonna play. But -2.5, to go from -3.5 to -2.5, sorry guys, I do think the Lions win this game. I think they are the better team. I think they're on a mission. The way that they handled the Titans last week, like that's impressive because they've been coming off big wins. Now they get a kind of a cupcake game at home and they take care of business and then some. Yeah, I do. The Lions are a better team. We just need them to show it. I think that will be a play for me too, -2.5. Okay, total is 47.5. I lean over. I do lean over. Lean over there. Okay, last game, guys, is the Sunday night game. It got flexed out. Some game got flexed out. I forget which game got flexed out. But this game got flexed in. So it's the Indianapolis Colts, led by Joe Flacco instead of Anthony Richardson this week, against the Minnesota Vikings, who are off 2 straight losses. Yeah, 2 straight losses for the Vikings. And in my opinion, it's no need to panic. No need to panic. I think the Vikings win big here. So that line is -5. Yeah, -5, and I feel great about that. I think the Vikings flex their muscles again here. So there's no shame in losing to Detroit, which is what they did 2 weeks ago. And then they lost on Thursday night, immediately after that loss. And that's okay too. In my opinion, that's just a bad spot for them. Like, they got outclassed by Detroit. They probably should have won that game. They had every chance to win that game. They did not. Then they had a short week at the Rams where they got Puka Nacua back, Cooper Kupp back, and the Rams are just a sneaky good team in general. And so they lost that one on the road. Like, okay, that's fine. I mean, to me, the sky is not falling in Minneapolis. It's not. We're good. Take a deep breath. Everybody's healthy on defense this week. Everybody's healthy on offense this week. We're going to be okay. Going to be okay. And I think they come out and they do that. And Indianapolis, they are getting healthier on defense. And so that is something to, pay attention to. And Joe Flacco does pass the ball better than Anthony Richardson. But my biggest bet on this game is that the Minnesota Vikings defense comes out and plays amazing again. And I think they will do that. Joe Flacco, he's been playing really good, but still, I think that this defense is going to give him fits. And I don't like them to play well this week. The offensive line is pretty healthy for the Colts. Josh Downs is a really good wide receiver. Michael Pittman Jr. has been battling. Alec Pierce is good. Jonathan Taylor's healthy. So, I can only lean... What did I say in my notes? Was it... I think over. Yeah, over. Yeah, because both teams are 3-4 to the under. I do think that there's some points in this game. I do. I like points in this game a lot, actually. And... So the defense is healthy. Kwity Paye's questionable, but DeForest Buckner's back. Juju Brents is not back yet, but they still have Kenny Moore. He's playing well, but still, Samuel Womack, Jalen Jones, Julian Blackman, Nick Cross. It's really not an amazing secondary. Linebackers, E.J. Speed, Zaire Franklin. Those are 2, average, fairly good linebackers. But Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, over-under's kind of weird. I could see an under 2. I could, but my prime time, Vikings have a great crowd. So I think this is a get right spot for the Vikings. I think I'm going to be on the -5, and that over/under 46.5. I don't know, guys. It's kind of weird. I lean over though. I do lean over. Yeah. So yeah, that's the podcast, guys. I'll have the Monday Night Football breakdown of the Buccaneers and the Chiefs on Monday. And sorry, I am breaking it up. I'm getting more views breaking it up, and why I would like to make this convenient for everybody to just have one podcast with all the games on it. I also am trying to get more viewership and grow my audience and grow my brand. So more podcasts I do, the more listens I get. Hopefully it creates a bigger following. So yeah, that's my thought process behind that. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And let's cash some more tickets this week. Let's keep winning. And yeah, let's go from there. All right, guys.